Guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Din and I'm going to show you how to prepare your ingredients, mix the spices and then cook the dish. Very simple method I'm going to use, so please follow the instructions carefully. So let's cook. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chef Din and I'm going to cook this delicious chicken Jalfrezi, very popular in the restaurant and big seller. And today I'm going to show you how to cook this delicious Jalfrezi, very easy, my one pot Jalfrezi. Now pause the video and get all the ingredients ready. The key is to get all the ingredients ready before you start. Like you see, I'm getting everything ready, I'm weighing everything out so that you don't have any problems when you go to cook it. As you can see, when you're getting ready to cook a curry, it's always a good idea to get everything ready, from your onions, your tomato, all your spices. As you can see, I'm weighed everything out to give you a good insight on what we need for this dish. There's a lot of ingredients needed for Jalfrezi. What I'm doing here is making the masala sauce what I use in the Jalfrezi. We used to use this in the restaurant as well. We're using paste here. You probably got some in the fridge. I have a video showing how to make the paste, but it's so time consuming. It's sometimes easier just to buy the paste, and it keeps a long time in the fridge. I have the ingredients, what we're putting in this paste, on the screen now, so write that down as well. This Jalfrezi I'm showing you was one of our signature dishes, and we used to sell quite a lot of this, and basically you won't find any Jalfrezi in any restaurant the same. Everyone's different and all chefs are different. We think the way we did it was a good one. Well, we know it was because we sold a lot of it, and we sold to customers for over 30 years our Jalfrezi, so we know it's good. So I hope you enjoy this one. What I'm doing now is starting to pre-cook the onions, the peppers and the hot chilies, so that when we're nearly finished, we're going to basically mix this with the Jalfrezi to give it a little bit more texture. So what I've added into this Jalfrezi is a little bit of salt, turmeric and some onion seeds, and a little bit of water as well. Only about halfway up. What we're going to do is basically cook this for next 4 minutes, and then take it off the heat, put a lid on it and leave it for later. And I'm pre-cooking the onions and the green peppers is so that it doesn't release water when we add it to our curry at the end, because it's only going to cook in the curry for about 5 minutes, so you still have a little bit of crunch to it, and it's not going to be too soft. So put that aside, and we get started with our main curry now. So in a large saucepan, we're going to add the oil, let that heat up really well, and then we're going to add our garlic and ginger paste, what we've just coarsely blended in the blender. Now the oil is very hot here. If you're not careful, it easily burn. So there's a process to it. Quickly add all the spices and give it a good stir. If you can't stop it from browning too quickly, what you can do is just add the onions quickly as well, and then you can add a little bit of water to slow the process down and cool it down, because we don't want the garlic and ginger to be any browner than what it is, as you can see now. Right, once we've added the onions, now we basically have to give it a good stir and let the onions slowly cook. And this way we can cook the onions much faster. We're going to add the coriander stalks, what I kept from our bunch of coriander so that it kind of gives it a good flavour. We also add in the tomatoes, as you can see, just cut in half, because as you know, I like to remove the skins from the tomatoes. By this process, after a few minutes it will release and you can just remove the skins. To this we're going to also add the salt. This will help to basically release water. So once this process has started, we're going to bring it up really hot. We're going to put the lid on it and we're going to let this cook gently for the next 30 minutes. Cooks for the next 30 minutes. What we want to do is basically give it a stir occasionally every 5 minutes or so. Keeping an eye on the heat as well. We don't want it burning on the bottom. So just keep closing the lid and every 5 to 10 minutes lifting it up. Right here is too hot, but as you can see it's just sticking a little bit. That's okay, we're keeping an eye on it. What I want to do now is basically remove the skins as well, so that way we've taken the skins out. Use a little tweezers, which I'm using these tongs, but you can use little tweezers if you have one in your kitchen, and just take off the skins. It comes off very easily, and this will give us a really lovely sauce and no kind of bits in it, as they say. See, there is a little bit of process to it, but I can assure you, if you cook it exactly as I'm showing you on this video, you have a delicious jalfrezi. And like I said at the beginning, there's no two jalfrezi the same in any restaurant, because every chef who cooks a jalfrezi or any curry, they're thinking that their way is the best way. So that's why probably all restaurants create a clientele solely for them. As you can see, it's been cooking for about 30 minutes now. We're going to take out the bay leaves and the cardamom pods, whatever you can see, just take it out gently, because the process for those is done. We don't need it anymore. Now we're going to create a sauce. So it's very similar to like creating a base gravy, but instead of cooking a base gravy, what we're doing, we're cooking in one pot everything. We're going to cook the jalfrezi. This is the best way I find to break the onions down a little bit more. I did try last time in my video to blend the onions, but I found the texture wasn't so good, so I'm not going to do it that way. I think this method that I'm showing you now is the best method to cook all the curries. It's quicker as well, and the texture of the sauce is much better. What I'm doing now is giving it a good stir. I put the heat up quite high, so what we want to do is basically let the chicken release all its water. But as it does, you have to keep on stirring it. And by stirring it as well, what we're doing is breaking down the onions. We're going to break the onions down so it becomes a nice smooth sauce as well. So this process we're going to cook for the next 20 minutes, and after that we're going to add our spices. Right, it's been about 20 minutes, and as you can see, the chicken has released the water, and it's been cooking in that water for the last 20 minutes, and we're ready now to add our spices. Right, first we're going to add our chili powder, and then our turmeric, as you can see. Our paprika goes in as well, that'll give it a nice colour, and our coriander, our black pepper I'm putting in as well, and our cumin powder, methi, and last of all garam masala. So this will give it a good flavour, and here goes our sauce, what I've made earlier, that goes in. You don't need to put the red colour like I said, it's entirely up to you, but we used to put the red colour just to give a richness in the curry, and it works. So try it, and if you don't like it, then don't put the red colour. Right, we're going to cook this now for another roughly about 10 minutes, and once it's cooked for 10 minutes, then we're going to add some water in this to give it a little bit more sauce, and then cook it for another 5 minutes before we add our peppers and onions, which we've pre-cooked earlier. As you can see, the curry is looking really good now. Jalfrezi was very popular, as well as masala, kurma and madras, and we used to sell quite a lot of this in the restaurant, and I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this dish. And basically you just let this cook for a little while longer before we add our onions and peppers, what we pre-cooked earlier. As you can see, the oil is starting to come up. That tells you this curry is nearly ready, and it's ready to put the onions. So we're going to let this cook for a few more minutes now before we add the final ingredient. Right, we're ready now to add our pre-cooked onions and red pepper and green pepper. We don't want the liquid, we just want all the onion and peppers and the green chili, and this will finish off the jalfrezi as we used to sell it in the restaurant, but we did it a completely different way. I've worked on this dish so to give you an insight how to make it at home easily in one pot, and the final ingredient we're going to add to this will be freshly chopped coriander, and that will just finish this dish off. We're going to cook this for next 5 minutes, and then turn it off and it's ready. There goes the fresh coriander. Just put a good handful, as you can see, give it a good stir and just let it cook gently for the next 5 minutes. Right, this is my chicken jalfrezi, and I hope after all the effort I've put into this dish that you give it a go and try cooking it, because it is outstanding dish, and I've made it simple for you to follow and also simple for you to cook. My one pot jalfrezi is worth giving a go, and all I ask, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel, tell your friends as well, so they too can benefit from my recipes and benefit from cooking them as well and enjoying with their friends and family. So anyway, this is my jalfrezi. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.